More rumors about Assassin's Creed Codename Red have emerged, and in this video we're going to discuss all of them, starting from the info about the two selectable protagonists, one a shinobi, the other a samurai, their different playstyles, and especially overall story backgrounds, from which we also tried and established a connection to a historical character that might allow us to speculate on a more specific time frame for the game. We're also going to discuss some more new gameplay related rumors that include a focus on stealth for the game and some more specific features that might really surprise fans. So let's not waste any more time and let's have a look at the latest Codename Red rumors. Before we start, as usual, let me be clear with this. Always pick all these rumors with a grain of salt. There have been incorrect rumors or imperfect reports in the past, even recently, and I would dare say there's a shadow of a doubt on something that we'll be discussing today as well. Still, there's quite a lot we can discuss, especially looking at the future, so let's just have a look at it with the proper state of mind. As we mentioned, today we're going to mostly focus on Assassin's Creed Codename Red, the upcoming Assassin's Creed main installment spearheaded by Ubisoft Quebec and set in Feudal Japan that was announced back in September at the Assassin's Creed Showcase, and that, according to the rumors, is currently scheduled for fall of 2024 or potentially even 2025. You might remember that recently we did report on Insider Gaming mentioning that sources told them that Red's quote-unquote spin on the Assassin's Creed franchise would be that it's set to have two playable characters and that the game would actually have a strong focus on stealth, which got me pretty intrigued, as such playstyle would very much match the Shinobi fantasy that was mentioned when the game was announced. The main force behind Insider Gaming, Tom Henderson, also shared that, to his understanding, Red will feature two different characters with two different playstyles, different traits, and possibly more, which also led us to wonder if they're also going to have different stories within the same world, or if they'd be a part of a single main story with branching missions, as it was the case for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So that's where we were standing with the most recent reports on Red. Well, until a few days ago, when Insider Gaming shared more rumors about the game, which in their words should be very appreciated by fans of stealth in games. They reported that Codename Red's two main characters would be a samurai and a shinobi, and in one of our previous videos we did already mention that while both samurais and shinobis/ninjas have been represented in a lot of films, novels and pop culture in general, they were very widely different figures, with samurais being part of the noble classes of ancient Japanese society and having access to prestige and privileges such as wielding two swords and the right to kill anyone from the lower classes in specific situations, while the shinobis or ninjas were actually covert agents and especially mercenaries who were much more experts of reconnaissance, espionage, infiltration, deception, ambush, bodyguarding and martial arts, including ninjutsu, which was the martial arts strategy and tactics of unconventional warfare, guerrilla warfare and espionage, and was deemed dishonorable and beneath the honor of the samurai. In its recent report, Insider Gaming mentioned that it's quote-unquote understood that Codename Red's short teaser officially released by Ubisoft during the Assassin's Creed Showcase is featuring the game's female samurai, while the other character, the shinobi or ninja, is again understood to be an African refugee who learned the way of the creed. And this is the part of this new rumor report that got me to scratch my head a little bit, and the same happened to many of our fans on social media. In fact, the character that we see in the teaser, it does look to be the female one, alright, but she's dressed, equipped, and she acts like a ninja, like a shinobi. Back in September we already did point out how this character looked like a ninja, a super agile character that jumps on roofs and seems to be using a ninja toe, that is a katana-like short sword allegedly used by the shinobi in Feudal Japan, and well, the hidden blade obviously. But there's more that made us think that this rumor might not be 100% on point. The other playable character, the male one, is supposed to be an African refugee who learned the way of the creed, and he is supposed to be the ninja/shinobi one, but as many of you were keen on letting us know, there is already a historical figure called Yasuke, who was a man of African origins who worked for the famous Japanese daimyo Oda Nobunaga and lived in Japan from 1579 to around 1582. Historically, Yasuke arrived in Japan in the service of Italian Jesuit missionary Alessandro Valignano and was later presented to Oda Nobunaga, who took an interest in him because he had not seen or met any black people before him, and thus, with time, Yasuke became Nobunaga's retainer and weapon bearer, but also directly fought within Nobunaga's forces in several battles, which is why several sources define him as a samurai, and more specifically, an African samurai, whose story, by the way, lays at the base of several pop culture outings. So if, and that's a big if, the male main character of Red is based on Yasuke, then it's more likely that he is going to be the samurai, while the female lead would be the Shinobi character, which suits the teaser trailer much better. But that's not all. If the male character was indeed a samurai and was based on Yasuke, or maybe is Yasuke himself, we might have some pretty interesting repercussions story-wise. First of all, that would help us narrow down the historical setting of the game, as we would be playing in the latter part of the 16th century. That would be the Edo period or Tokugawa period, when Japan was under control of the Tokugawa shogunate and the country's 300 regional daimyos, or right before it, and we'd be able to meet some important historical characters such as, indeed, Oda Nobunaga, Tokugawa Ieyasu, etc. All the historical characters I've mentioned, save from Yasuke, have also already appeared in the franchise in a mobile game called Assassin's Creed Memories. Alessandro Valignano, the Jesuit missionary that brought Yasuke to Japan, was a Templar who roamed the country to recruit more people for the order. Oda Nobunaga, the daimyo that Yasuke served for a few years, within Memories appeared oriented towards an alliance with the assassins, but that was abandoned when he got hold of a Sword of Eden and he was eventually eliminated by an assassin called Yamauchi Taka, who retrieved the Piece of Eden. Tokugawa Ieyasu instead was the leader and first shogun of the Tokugawa shogunate, and within Memories he opposed the Templar influence in Japan, sometimes even issuing missions to the assassins in the area despite not being officially identified as an assassin. So these are just some of the characters and events that we might meet and witness if the male character in Red is actually Yasuke, and again, if that was the case, we'd play as a samurai that has been taken to Japan and maybe was indoctrinated by a Templar, Alessandro Valignano, and later worked with Nobunaga as he got hold of a Piece of Eden. Who knows, maybe we'll play a Templar story with a Templar samurai character and an assassin story with the female Shinobi one. That would be pretty interesting and quite fresh as well. Of course, this is all speculation at this point. Maybe the Shinobi is going to be the male character in Red, while the female is going to be the samurai. They're both going to be assassins, and none of what I imagined is going to happen. Still, the basis for a very interesting story could be there already, though I also expect that given how little Memories is known by the wider community, Red might also retcon all of its lore dedicated to Feudal Japan, starting from a clean slate. I hope that it's not the case, but it wouldn't be the first time anyway. Anyway, that wasn't the last of Insider Gaming's latest report. In fact, it was also stated once again that one of the biggest design focuses of Codename Red would be stealth gameplay, and more specifically that it seems that Ubisoft Quebec has decided to take a quote-unquote Splinter Cell-esque or Hitman-like approach to the title, and here Insider Gaming even cited a number of features that are already currently developed for the game, such as hiding bodies and hiding in tall grass, which are both features that have been part of the AC games for years at this point, but also, and this is what really caught my eye, extinguishing lights so your shadows are not spotted, which truly implies a whole different detection system and a whole different approach to stealth. As usual, only time will tell if this is something that will end up in the final product, but these very early rumors do seem to be promising. And Red is only one of the 11 Assassin's Creed games currently in development, the first of course being Mirage, and the furthest in time being the recently rumored Project Nebula, Project Raid, and Project Echoes, all of which we discussed in our recent videos, along with showing a dedicated roadmap of all the announcements and rumors about all these games. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.